Welcome to KPS News.
I'm Deanna.
And I'm Dakota. Today we're going to be doing multiple interviews, including an overview of the cheer team season with Coach Tabor,
An interview with our FFA advisor, Monica Jensen, a safety public service announcement,
and a preview of our upcoming art show with Mr. Jeffries.
We are glad to be your anchors this week.
Hello, this is Kendall and Barbara, and today we are interviewing Coach Tabor, the cheer coach. For the listeners out there, can you please tell us your background in cheer?
Well, I've been the cheer coach here for about 9 years. This will be my 10th season coming up. I initially started out as the dance coach here when Coach Day was here and I was a volunteer. My background actually isn't in cheer. I was a dancer for most of my life. But I was able to use a lot of those same skills and conditioning and techniques that are in my background to apply to the cheer program.
What are the competitions that the cheer team has participated in this year?
This year we started our first competition when we went to our cheer camp in Fort Collins at CSU for the UCA cheer camp. We also competed in the first annual miniature cheer competition, and then our Lexington high school competition, and then finishing up with our Nebraska State cheer competition.
What competitive categories does your cheer team compete in?
Our first category that we compete in is non-tumbling, which is a dance-based category that combines fast-paced choreography, difficult jump sequences, also a cheer. And then we also compete in the game day division, which is a performance with a band dance, a sideline, and a crowd cheer, and our school song, and that's meant to simulate what cheer teams do during the game day situation.
Do you feel like the girls have bonded well together this year?
I do feel like they've had a good bond this year. We always say that we're small but mighty. One of the things that comes with being a small team is knowing that your piece of the puzzle really matters. And so I think the girls have had to learn how to depend on each other and show up for one another. It's also, when one team member is struggling, it's up to everybody else to kind of pick up the pieces. And they've been able to do that really well this year. It's one of the things I'm most proud of from them. We spend a lot of time together, so they get to know each other really well. We all know what we like, what we don't like, but that leads to us being a really strong team and us being able to perform better on the mat, which is always great. And I think that the trust that they've created this year is probably one of the best teams that we've had from that perspective. They've grown through a lot, and I'm really proud of how far they've come this season.
With Renee being a lone senior and cheer captain, how will it affect the team going forward when she graduates?
Renee was an incredible captain this year, and having her from a freshman to see where she's developed into as a senior, she's had an incredible impact on our team. She was a force on and off the mat, and we will really miss her presence this next year. But with that said, she will have a lasting impact on this team. And thankfully, she took a really strong mentorship role this year, atop of everything else that she did. And so Emmeline was her co-captain, and I think she spent a lot of time mentoring her and helping her understand what it takes to be a leader, demonstrating to her what it takes to be a leader. And so between Emmeline and her mentorship this season and the roster of returners that we have, I'm really confident in the team's ability to step into the next season even stronger, and after a really strong year of learning with Renee.
We understand that you recently held cheer tryouts for next year's cheer team. What was the process for trying out for the cheer team?
We try to make the cheer tryouts as accessible as possible. Really right now we're just trying to up that participation. So we start with a week or two. This year we only ended up with a week of open gyms, which is an opportunity for anybody who's interested in our program to come and see what we're all about, see what it's like to be a cheerleader, talk to the returners, talk to the previous team, maybe talk to anybody else who has attempted in the past. We do a handful of things. We go through some warm-ups, we go through some of the fun stuff, we go through some of the hard stuff, we provide opportunities to ask questions. And then the week of our tryouts, we have a couple of tryout specific practices where all of our material is taught. That includes jumps, the school song, it includes a cheer, and most of the time it also includes hold a dance, like a 5/8 count of a dance that you have to perform for us during the tryout process. And then we hold tryouts where each person is either individually or in pairs comes and demonstrates what they've learned that week. Really, the entire week is kind of the whole tryout process in total. It gives me an opportunity to look at how the team will work together, how they learn. A big part of being a cheerleader is learning how to learn. And so that week is a really trying time and a telling period for that. And then along with all of that material plus teacher recommendations, that's what goes into our tryout process.
Did you guys have a good turnout for tryouts this summer?
I'm happy with where we ended up. We ended up with 2 new cheerleaders on top of the 4 returners from last year. We also have 2 junior high cheerleaders that will be stepping up and cheering at home varsity events this next year. So I'm really excited to see how many cheerleaders we have on the sideline.
Without revealing any results that haven't been made public, do you feel the strength and upcoming cheer team will be?
I am really proud of the team that we have coming into this next season, and I really can't wait to see how they step up into the season with some experience under their belts and the time that we'll be able to spend over the summer. I think we're going to continue pushing new skills. We have really good jumps on our team, and I'm excited to see how we can improve those throughout the next season. We can expect some sharp dance moves, some big energy, and top-level athleticism for the team this next year. I have a feeling that the energy with next year's team is going to be unmatched, and they're ready to uphold the strong and positive reputation that the previous cheerleaders have left for them.
Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, I'm Liam, and we are joined today with Ms. Jensen to do an interview about FFA.
Hi.
What inspired your interest for FFA?
When I was in high school, I found FFA, and I participated in FFA for 4 years. I was the chapter secretary, vice president, and president, and then I went on to college and decided I wanted to be an ag teacher so that I could involve more kids in FFA.
Cool. What is FFA, and what is its purpose?
FFA used to stand for Future Farmers of America. We are now recognized as the National FFA organization, and our goal is to teach kids about leadership and also about agriculture. However, you do not have to be a farmer in order to be a part of FFA. We welcome everyone into FFA.
What is the importance of having an FFA program in a small rural community?
I think the importance of having FFA in a small rural community is to get all of our students involved in agriculture, and a lot of times these small rural communities are very strong and rich in agriculture, and it's important to teach all of the kids in the area about our community and the people involved in it and where our food comes from and all of the things because none of us would live without food and none of us would live without agriculture.
Mm-hmm. You had quite a few students qualify for CCM. Can you explain what that is and what they had to do to prepare for the event?
So CCM is conduct of chapter meetings, and this is the 7th through 9th grade level of parliamentary procedure, which is how to properly run a meeting based off of Robert's Rules of Order, which is a really thick book that almost all organizations use to run their meetings. So the school board will even use Robert's Rules of Order. So for our CCM contest, the kids have to learn how to make 10 different abilities, is what we call them, and that's how to properly carry on a motion. And so they've come to practice multiple mornings throughout the year. We competed at districts back in November. That's where they qualified for state, and then we get to see how we do at the state level in 2 weeks. So that will be pretty fun for the kids.
Okay. What are some of the other state events that we have students qualified to participate in, and would you like to elaborate on those events for the listeners?
Of course. So I have to think. The other events that we have students qualified in is Ag Sales, which is a contest where kids sell products. So they get a product from the state, and each student on the team has to try and sell the product. We received second place at districts, and we also competed in an ag sales contest in Pine Bluffs and received first place. So we are very excited to see how we do in that state. Mallory Hotel qualified with her natural resources speech. Wyatt Cook is speaking about cooperatives, like our local grain co-ops. So he's in that speaking event. And then we also have an ag mechanics team, which involves hydraulics and pneumatics, small engines, I forgot what else. Machinery, and then electrical. So those boys will be working on all of those things this state.
Thank you for sharing information about our Kimball FFA program, and good luck at this Nebraska State FFA convention.
Thank you.
Hey, do you feel like driving of students in the school can be unsafe?
Yes, it is definitely a problem.
Have you heard about the statistics on car crashes in parking lots?
According to the National Safety Council, roughly 60,000 people are injured and 500 people are killed in parking lot accidents per year.
Oh my gosh, that is a lot.
What do you think we should do to be safer?
We could slow down and drive under the speed limit in the parking lot.
Stay off your phones. It's a bad habit and it's illegal to text and drive in Nebraska.
And please wear a seatbelt. Hopefully the students in our school can learn to respect the parking lots and the people in them so we don't become another statistic.
Hello, welcome to KPS News. I'm Becca and this is Cameron, and we are interviewing Mr. Jeffries for the upcoming school art show.
Thanks for having me.
So, what do you think about the elementary student being able to do art?
I'm really excited that that I go down there and they can explore some creativity and really just kind of build a program, and then they're more prepared for high school art and junior high art.
All right. Well, how do you approach teaching creativity in that type of classroom?
In the elementary, it kind of depends on the grade. I do like to try to give them as much choice as possible. But if I give them too much choice, meaning here, draw me. If I say something like, "Draw me a cool picture," most of them are going to look at me like deer in headlights. So I might have to say something more like, "Hey, do your best version of a car on a road." And it depends on the grade, but I like to try to give them as much choice as possible. So going back to the car on a road, I won't tell them what color, I won't tell them what car, so they could draw a pickup, they could draw a race car, they could draw something like that. They have a general direction, but they still have lots of choices that they can make and explore.
What is the goal of this year's art show?
To show students that we're proud of them. I mean, they worked hard. It's when you're doing throughout the year, you don't think about it, you just do one project at a time, but then when you take that step back and you look at all the artwork you've done throughout the entire year, it's actually pretty impressive how much work you get done. And then reflect back on the thought processes and the experiences like that as another way of learning. So yeah, just for them to learn and just to show them that, hey, we're proud of the effort that they put in, the work that they've done.
All right. What do you think is difficult in creating different art styles?
It's different for everybody. Getting over that fear of it has to be perfect. That fear of I have to sit down and every line I make needs to be perfect. And when I get done, I'm going to have a masterpiece. Art doesn't work that way. You have to do research. You have to do studies. You have to do sketches. You have to do medium practices. There's just so much that goes into when you create a masterpiece or your best work, and it's hard for people to understand that.
What type of art styles are your favorite to do and see the high schoolers do?
My favorite, personally, is comic book style. I love drawing comic book art. I try to draw my own, color them on the computer. Students, whatever one they want to explore. One that is challenging for them, maybe a little bit outside their comfort zone, is something that they want to explore and try to do the very best at. They're excited to create.
All right. What's your favorite medium to use when creating
That's a tough one, but I'm gonna have to say pen and ink. Start with pencil, and then go over with pen and ink. Pencil, I guess. Drawing.
Who is your best artist in all of your classes?
Oh, you can ask me that. Everybody's got their strengths and weaknesses, and the ones that try the hardest to put in the most effort, they're the best. They're the best student. It doesn't matter what that product looks like, as long as they put in the strong effort.
All right. What do you think is a big part in making art?
Again, just overcoming that challenge of I have to create this masterpiece. That when I sit down, everything line has to be perfect. It doesn't work that. And then also for teaching, it's kind of funny that hey, why aren't you doing art? Well, I'm not good at art. Okay, but do you want to be good at it? So take class. You when you go into algebra or trigonometry, you're not good at that the first day, are you? So you have to get better at it throughout the year. Someone has to teach you, so you have to do the same thing with art. Overcoming that shadow is kind of definitely a challenge.
Okay, well, thank you for hearing about the art show from Mr. Jeffries.
Thank you.
We're back again with one of our art students, Noli, and she's going to be showing us some of her art. What is your favorite art style to do, Noli?
I really like to do clay, just to carve, and it really gives you creativity to show whatever you want, and it's fun to do for me.
All right. What is your favorite project you have done this year?
I really like, at the beginning of the year we did one about our favorite person, and I drew my sister, and it looked really realistic, and I really liked that one.
Do you work better by yourself or with a group?
I like working by myself when it comes to art, because you can just do it by yourself and make it how you want, and it's just better when you do that.
All right. Do you think art is an important class to take?
It can be. It depends, like if you want to have creativity in some professions, I think it can really help to just let off stress too. It can be really nice to take.
What was your favorite sketchbook prompt to do?
I really like doing like Inktober because it just looks nice and clean. You draw it with a pen and it looks nice. Like I have this one for it's Uncharted, and you just draw what you interpreted. And so I drew a pirate ship. And I have another one of a centipede, and it's really neat. It's a scary thing, so they have a lot of legs that I thought was creepy. I have this other sketchbook prompt of a famous artwork, and it is just out of color pencil, and I really think these are neat.
Well, thanks for being here, Noli.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of KPS News. Deanna and Dakota, signing off.